Now, with thousands of skin and beauty products on the market making similar health claims, consumers want to know which products they can trust to deliver results. Scientific substantiation can help to answer some consumers' questions about a product's efficacy. Over half of consumers say that science-backed ingredients are important to them when deciding to purchase a nutritional product, and 1/3 research the efficacy of skincare ingredients before they buy. So we've invited Dr. Paulo into studio to discuss the importance of scientific backing for supplemental products. Paulo, when it comes to supplementation, why is it that scientific backing is so important? Because there is a lot of stuff on the market and a lot of them make claims, but how do we balance it?
All right, so scientific backing, so you've got general scientific backing, which means that, for example, vitamin C has been found to have this effect on that organ, on that tissue, and this is the mechanism. So that's generalized. So you can now sell the substance and claim that that substance does what they've said it does.
Yes.
But has your substance in your product been subjected to any clinical trials or scientific backing? That becomes very important with supplemental products, as you mentioned, because they are taken mostly by mouth. And they are not incorporated into food. Okay, so it's usually extracts, it's individual minerals, vitamins or other types of substances. So it's important to have research that shows what happens in the gut to these substances.
Right.
So in other words, how are they absorbed? Are they absorbed at all? What quantity is absorbed? Does the gut cell have specific transporters to bring them from the gut into the bloodstream? Are they absorbed passively, as it were? Do these systems have a tolerance level? In other words, do they get to a certain point where they become unable to transfer any more material?
Right.
Which means that 100 milligrams, for example, is all that it can tolerate at one sitting, so to speak. So taking 200 milligrams would be useless. You're just throwing away the other 100.
Okay.
So it's all these potential things which then transfer or define bioavailability,
Right.
which is how much actually gets in your blood and into your tissues, because that's what's important.
Okay.
Because you can take 1,000 milligrams of something, but if only 100 milligrams are absorbed, you're only getting 10% of what you're taking.
And therefore wasting your money as well.
In a sense, yes.
Yeah.
There could be the case where you need to take a little bit more than what is actually absorbed to make sure that that maximum is absorbed.
Okay.
So that also we can only find out by doing studies.
Right. So let's take an example, Dr. Paulo. So in my research, I looked into skin. So the structural framework of skin tissue relies on the cross-linking of collagen and the various other proteins. So this process is assisted by a natural substance called MSM, for instance. So let's talk about what MSM is, and also, is all MSM equal?
Okay. So MSM is a natural substance which is found in vegetables, in meat, in dairy products. It's basically it's a sulfur-containing substance. Okay. Now, it has various functions, as you have mentioned. So it assists the connection of collagen to proteoglycans. So that's the structural framework of the skin. It is crucial for the production of keratin, which is one of the main constituents of hair and nails. You know, it's also has anti-inflammatory effects and antioxidant effects. So it is crucial in terms of the skin. It has other functions, obviously. Now, in the case of MSM specifically, purity is an issue. Okay, so the manufacturer of the substance must utilize systems that ensure its purity, and such purity should be tested before the product reaches the consumer. Okay. So not all MSMs on the shelf will be of the same purity. So for example, in terms of MSM, there is a form of MSM known as OptiMSM, okay, which is a premium hypoallergenic distilled MSM produced in the United States. All right. It is rigorously third-party tested for purity.
Okay.
Now, OptiMSM is produced by a company that all they do is produce this type of MSM.
Right.
All right. They don't sell this directly to the public. This is sold to supplement companies who then incorporate it into their product. Okay. So to use MSM as an example, if you look at products that contain MSM, on the little list of ingredients, the MSM should read, for example, OptiMSM. That's one of the options. It is probably the leader in the world. So look for one that says OptiMSM.
Okay.
So that's one way of ensuring that, in terms of MSM, for example, you are getting the best type.
Right, right. So MSM is one thing, but let's stick with beauty because, I mean, obviously beauty on the outside is beauty on the inside. Your body's got to be doing things well, having the right processes going on. And that means what you put into your body is important. So beyond your choice of diet that you're gonna eat, the quality of your food, what sort of supplements would you be looking at to make sure that your external beauty is as good as what's going on inside?
Well, obviously there's a long list of nutrients that have functions in the skin, but the prominent ones would be vitamin A, for example. Vitamin A in the epidermis, it has to do with the production of protein in the epidermis. In the dermis, the second layer, it has to do with the production of keratin, for example, and collagen. All right, so that's vitamin A. Beta carotene is very important for what we call fibroblasts.
Right.
Those are cells in the skin that secrete collagen. Okay, then you have obviously vitamin B5, you have biotin. Vitamin C is very important. The skin, or the epidermis in particular, can contain 64 milligrams per 100 grams of skin tissue, which is the highest concentration comparatively speaking with all the other tissues in the body.
Okay.
So it's a very high concentration of vitamin C. Many functions. One of them, for example, is the production of ceramide. That you might have seen on beauty products, the word ceramide.
Ah, yes.
It's almost, you can explain it as if it is a glue that keeps the cells kind of together.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
And then we have zinc. So the skin is the third most zinc abundant tissue in the body as well. Here zinc plays major roles in terms of repair of different areas of, or different parts of the skin.
Okay.
So these are some of the minerals and vitamins that are crucial for skin function.
Okay. So then, in general, when we talk about supplementation, I mean, you've mentioned quite a long list of things. You mentioned MSM a little bit earlier. And we're just talking about sort of the beauty side of things. But now these obviously all have other roles to play. And
correct.
Supplementation in general has become almost an essential part of daily life. And we've spoken about the fact that foods are not necessarily nutritious as they used to be and things like that. But, Paulo, I mean, do I have to go out and buy 20 different supplement products so that I can achieve this sort of perfect life or perfect element of health? Or is there a better way to do it that is more efficient?
Yes, if you want to target the skin, if I may say something about all these substances that we mentioned, vitamins and minerals, remember they have multiple functions elsewhere in the body.
Yes.
So when you ingest vitamin A, for example, or zinc or any of the other substances, you can't tell the substance, as it were, please just function on my skin right now. Don't go anywhere else. Now, because inevitably what we are taking is not enough for all the functions that should be done in our entire body, the body will prioritize where to use it. Now, the skin is not priority number one.
Yes.
As far as your biological body is concerned, essential organs don't include the skin. They include the heart, the liver, the kidneys.
Survival.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the body must be kept alive. Okay, so wrinkles are not an issue.
Yeah.
Okay, from the body's point of view. So the body will utilize whatever it gets first to the more important functions, the functions that it considers more important, and that is why supplementation again is very important. Okay, so in order not to purchase 20 items, as you said, okay, one has to look for a product that combines all of these. And that does it properly. So in terms of identifying products, look, you need to do some research. Usually you could consult a knowledgeable independent third party that has no connection to the actual product, and I'm talking about a financial connection.
Yeah.
So you look at the company, you can investigate their mission, their values, their ethos. You can start by looking at the actual product. There must be contact details, an address or email address. If there are no contact details, put the product back on the shelf, because they should not be hiding anywhere.
Absolutely.
So all of these parts are important. You should look at products that don't contain any anti-caking agents, no bulking agents, no fillers, for example, because not only do these substances do nothing for you, they can actually, in some cases, be harmful depending on the territory that they're going in. But they're basically there to make sure that manufacturing is easier and cheaper. That is why they are present. One can also look for published papers depending on the substances that we're talking about. You can look for papers, scientific papers that have been published that have researched that specific substance. Usually substances that are patented and have been researched are given names. Okay, so glutathione is generally known as glutathione, but there is a form called Cetria.
Right.
So if you have a glutathione product that says Cetria, then you know that that has been researched and you are able to find the results for it.
Right, right. Now, Paulo, as an option for a complex, we've got Terranova's Beauty Complex that we've put into the Real Health Medicine cabinet this week. Now, does this sort of check off the list that you've just mentioned earlier?
Yes, it does. So anybody can do this. You can go onto Terranova's website. So Terranova is a British company. You can check their history, their mission, why they do what they do. They, for example, they don't use fillers, they don't use anti-caking agents or bulking agents. Instead of that, in fact, they use something called a magni-food complex, which is a brilliant idea in my opinion. So what they've done in this case, for example, there are 10 of them. They are plant substances, freeze-dried, but these have been chosen specifically because they all contain substances that are nutritional substances, nutrients that are essential for skin health.
Right.
Because this product is targeted at skin health.
Okay.
Over and above that, of course, it contains all the vitamins we've mentioned, plus more maybe. It contains MSM, OptiMSM.
Right.
If I remember correctly, it is OptiMSM. There are contact details on the product. In this case, the contact details are the details of the South African company that imports the product, obviously. It's easier for you to call somebody locally
and that's phytoceutics.
And in England, but the contact details are there. So it is a very good product, and it is backed by a company that relies on research, that relies on what has been shown, and it relies on best manufacturing practices to give the consumer the best value for money.
Right. And as you say, so this is a product that's got multiple elements which are going to work on the body where it's needed, but also collectively it's going to do help your benefit your skin because of the combination of products.
Yes, it is targeted at the skin. It is targeted at skin, hair and nails.
Right.
Because that's the entire system. But of course, again, as I said earlier, the vitamin A in it, you can't, if your body needs vitamin A elsewhere, it may not get to the skin. But the point of supplementation is that it's not a magic bullet. It's not something you take once or for 3 weeks. You have to find a system. Either you cycle it, in other words, you take it every second month or 2 months and then miss one, or you take it all the time, depending on. So everyone's situations are obviously different.
Yes.
But it is something that you have to continue, especially from the point of view that your body will first use it where it needs it most, and you don't know where that is.
Absolutely.
But if you continue to provide your body with the correct nutrition, eventually those areas will be satisfied, as it were, and it will get to the area that you primarily intended it for.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Paulo, a product like this, safe for anybody to take? It's going to be useful generally across the board?
It's just general nutrition.
Okay, great. And where is it available?
I believe it's available in health shops and pharmacies.
Paulo, thank you so much just for also opening the door, shedding some more light on supplementation in general. So thank you so much for that.
It's a pleasure.